Netflix's Brazilian drama series Wrath builds its entire story around one central question. Can someone who has survived unimaginable violence ever truly reclaim the life that was stolen from them? While the series is packed with brutal mixed martial arts fights and criminal conspiracies, its ending is ultimately about redemption, family, and finally breaking free from a past built on fear. By the finale, Marcelo discovers his true identity, the underground death-fighting operation begins to collapse, and justice finally catches up with the people responsible for years of suffering. The story begins with Tony Trindade, a former mixed martial arts fighter whose career ended long ago. He now runs a struggling fight academy that is drowning in debt and on the verge of closing forever. His biggest hope is a talented young fighter named Junior Malamute, but those plans fall apart when Malamute leaves for the rival Alpha Rio Academy, run by Tony's longtime enemy Henrique Noves. Just when everything seems hopeless, Tony discovers an injured stranger while collecting scrap metal. The man has no memory of who he is. The only name he can remember is Marcelo. Believing that may be his identity, Tony takes him to hospital before eventually offering him a place to stay at his academy. Although Marcelo cannot remember his past, one thing immediately stands out. His body remembers how to fight. After watching only a few training sessions, he begins copying techniques with incredible precision. It quickly becomes obvious that whoever he was before losing his memory possessed extraordinary fighting ability. As Marcelo starts competing, flashes from his forgotten past slowly begin returning. The bullet fragment lodged inside his head triggers disturbing memories. He remembers steel cages, crowds demanding blood, fighters forced to kill each other. He also remembers a woman he loved deeply and a young son waiting for him. Eventually, the series reveals the biggest truth. Marcelo is not actually Marcelo. His real name is Tadeu. Years earlier, he entered an underground fighting circuit hoping to earn enough money to support his wife Luzia and their son Marcelo. Life had become increasingly difficult, and he believed one dangerous opportunity could change everything. Instead, he was trapped. The so-called tournament was actually an illegal organization that imprisoned fighters and forced them into deadly no-rules matches for the entertainment of wealthy spectators. Winning meant surviving another day. Losing meant death. Tadeu spent years trapped inside that horrifying world. His only chance at freedom came through another fighter named Anibal. Knowing escape was impossible otherwise, Anibal shot Tadeu in the head. The injury was carefully planned. It convinced the organizers that Tadeu had died while leaving him just alive enough to escape. Although he finally reached freedom, the bullet remained lodged inside his brain, eventually causing the memory loss seen at the beginning of the series. Sadly, his freedom did not last forever. After returning to legal fighting years later, members of the criminal organization recognized him. He was kidnapped and dragged back into the nightmare he had barely escaped. The finale finally brings every storyline together during the highly anticipated fight between Marcelo and Junior Malamute. To everyone watching, it appears to be a normal mixed martial arts contest. Behind the scenes, however, the organizers have very different plans. Malamute receives secret instructions to repeatedly target the old wound in Marcelo's head. The goal is not victory. The goal is murder. Malamute accepts the plan. His growing jealousy over Marcelo's rapid success and his personal frustrations make him vulnerable to manipulation. Early in the fight, he lands the devastating strike exactly where he was instructed. For a brief moment, Marcelo appears completely finished. Then survival instincts built through years of fighting for his life begin taking over. Drawing on everything he learned inside the underground arena, Marcelo recovers, reverses the fight, and defeats Malamute. The victory represents far more than winning a championship. For the first time in years, he defeats the people who have controlled every aspect of his life. At the same time, another emotional storyline reaches its conclusion. Throughout the series, Tadu's family believed he had abandoned them. Without knowing he had been imprisoned, they had every reason to think he chose to leave. His young son never fully accepted that explanation. After seeing footage of his father's latest fight, he becomes convinced Tadu is still alive. Determined to find him, the boy uses the remaining money his father left behind and travels alone to Rio. Despite being robbed during the journey, he refuses to give up. After Marcelo wins the fight, his son runs into the arena and embraces him. Moments later, Luzia arrives and joins them. The family is finally reunited after years of heartbreak. It becomes one of the series' most emotional scenes because it confirms that Tadu never abandoned the people he loved. He was simply trapped inside a prison built by criminals. After the reunion, Marcelo returns to the scrapyard where Tony first found him. There, he burns the bandana he once wore to hide his identity during the illegal fights. The moment carries powerful symbolism. Throughout the series, the bandana represented captivity, fear, and the violent identity forced upon him. Burning it represents finally letting go of that life forever. The finale also exposes the true mastermind behind the entire criminal operation. Henrique Noves is not simply Tony's business rival. He is one of the organizers behind the illegal death-fighting network. Years earlier, Tony accidentally killed an opponent during a fight and immediately walked away from that world. Henrique chose the opposite path. Realizing wealthy spectators would pay enormous sums to watch desperate men fight to the death, he transformed violence into a profitable criminal business. The organization specifically targeted poor people with few alternatives, exploiting their desperation for entertainment and financial gain. Ironically, the person responsible for exposing Henrique is his own daughter. Yana gradually uncovers the truth about her father's activities. Rather than protecting him, she secretly records one of the underground death fights. The footage captures the horrifying reality as spectators cheer while another fighter is brutally killed. Following Marcelo's victory, Yana publicly broadcasts the recording, exposing the criminal operation to everyone present. Working alongside Tony, she ensures the police receive the evidence. Authorities arrive and arrest Henrique, finally shutting down the underground fighting organization. However, the ending also leaves one major mystery unresolved. Before being taken away, Henrique calmly tells Yana that a good fighter always thinks ahead. His confidence strongly suggests he is prepared for this possibility. Adding even more uncertainty, the imprisoned fighters are nowhere to be found when police raid the location. Someone moved them before the authorities arrived. That unanswered question leaves the door open for another season while suggesting the criminal network extends far beyond Henrique alone. Overall, Wrath delivers a satisfying conclusion by combining emotional character arcs with meaningful justice. Marcelo not only uncovers his true identity, but also finally escapes the violence that defined so much of his life. Tony finds redemption by helping expose the organization that destroyed countless lives, while Yana chooses justice over family loyalty by revealing her father's crimes. The final image of Marcelo burning the bandana perfectly captures the ending's message. Escaping the underground fights was only the beginning. True freedom comes from leaving that identity behind, reclaiming the life that was stolen from him, and finally moving forward with the family he never stopped fighting to return to.